Hello and welcome to this new section on deployment in this course Mastering Artificial Intelligence. So in this section, we will help you learn how to deploy trained models that you have worked on so far into production environment and basically to make sure that they integrate smoothly with existing systems and meet the performance requirements. So the question is how to deploy trained models into production environments. Any thoughts? Anything that you would like to discuss? Note down. See, putting these trained models into deployment requires careful planning and execution basically to make sure that you have a seamless integration with the existing system and adherence to the performance requirement because ultimately you are deploying this trained model to improve the performance, right? So how can you do that? There are many steps. So let's take the first step in this lecture and discuss in detail how to go about deploying the trained models effectively. So the first thing is to do model serialization. So you need to serialize a trained model, particularly into a format that can be easily loaded and executed in a production environment. So turn the trained model into a serial format that can be easily loaded. Now, what are the various things that you can do? The common serialization formats include Pickle from Python, then Joblib and Onyx, ONNX. And Onyx offers interoperability across different frameworks. So these are the three most commonly used serialization formats, if you were to say that. Now, the question is, what is model serialization? We talked about doing this serialization. So, what is this serialization? Any thoughts? So, the serialization of a trained model basically refers to a process of converting the model's internal state of parameters into a format that can be easily stored or transmitted, typically as a file or a byte stream, right? Now, this serialized representation then allows the model to be saved to a disk, transferred over a network, or stored in a database, and that makes it accessible for future use, right? And then this serialized model can then be deserialized or loaded back into memory during inference or deployment in a production environment. And this enables model to then predict on new data. So serialization, as you see, is crucial for deploying the machine learning models in real world application, where models need to be stored, managed, and executed efficiently, as you see on your screen here. So question is how to serialize the trained model using common serialization formats like Pickle, Joblib, and Onyx, right? Any thoughts? So let's look at how to serialize a trained model using Pickle. And nowadays the life is more about executing right commands, right? It was earlier also in life over human beings. Now it's all over about the machines and programs. So using a Pickle, what you need to do is to run these commands that you see here. You need to import Pickle, then you assume model in your trained, you type out the model that you want to serialize as a trained model, and then open and load model. So it's as simple as that. So that's how you can serialize the trained model using Pickle, and you can come back and look at this command from the PDF file. Similarly, how do you use it using Joblib? And again, it's a matter of writing few commands as you see here, which is very clearly mentioned here. Then what you need to do is look at Onyx. How can you serialize trained model using Onyx? And again, it's a matter of few commands that you see here, importing Onyx as a program and then running the inference session, import inference session, and then assuming the model is your trained machine learning model, you Onyx model equal to Onyx load that model and then go forward as illustrated here. The question is which one to choose, how to choose the serialization format. Should it be Onyx, should it be Joblib, or should it be Python Pickle? So each of these formats have advantages and disadvantages and use cases. Now, Pickle is a standard Python library for serializing and deserializing Python objects. Pickle can handle most Python objects, including custom classes, but it is not always the most efficient for large NumPy arrays or model with C extension. So you know where to use it and where not to use it. On the other side, JobLib is an alternative to Pickle that is more efficient for storing large NumPy arrays, and it is commonly used in scikit-learn ecosystem. Then the Open Neural Network Exchange (ONNX) is an open format for representing deep learning models. Now, ONNX model can be run on various platforms and frameworks using this ONNX runtime. ONNX is particularly useful for interoperability between the different deep learning frameworks. So those are the pros and cons of each of these. Now, when choosing a serialization format, consider factors such as compatibility with your production environment, performance, and interoperability with other systems or frameworks. So what is next? So having looked at the first step of serialization, we will now look at what are the remaining steps that you need to take to effectively deploy a trained model into production environment in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first deployment lecture in this course, Master in Artificial Intelligence. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions anywhere, and also download the PDF file to take a look at some of these commands that we showed you briefly.